All right, this is debate on behalf of V Electronics, and in this video, we'll be talking about the role of central banks or Federal Reserve Bank. Now, we've talked about the Federal Reserve Bank in relevance to your monetary policies back in the past. Okay, this had to do with the interest rates going up and down, as well as the central banks, okay, dealing with funds, okay, dealing with bonds. All right, in this video, we'll talk about the three functions of a central bank or the Federal Reserve Bank. Okay, the first one has to do with what we talked about in the past. This is carrying out or imposing the monetary policies. So this is imposing the monetary policies. Okay, the next one has to do with stability of the financial system. So how stable the financial system might be. So stability of the financial system. And the third one has to do with providing banking services to commercial banks. Okay, so when it comes to stability of the financial system, we're talking about recession as well as inflation. Okay, we're talking about money circulation, okay, economy, economic growth, so on and so forth, monetary policies. We already talked about interest rates. Okay, bumping up interest rates when you have inflation, bumping down interest rates to get the economy out of recession. Okay, and apart from that, you also have your banking services to commercial banks. All right. Now, when it comes to banking services for commercial banks, okay, the Federal Reserve, okay, is responsible for getting loans. Okay, so this is commercial banks, commercial banks arranging loans. This is arranging loans from the Federal Reserve. Okay, this is from the Federal Reserve. Okay, Federal Reserve System. All right, now apart from that, okay, banks may also get loans through a discount window. Okay, so commercial banks, they may get loans through a discount window. All right, so what ends up happening is when the banks, when the commercial banks, they require some kind of a loan, they get that loan from the central bank or the Federal Reserve Bank. All right, responsible for processing checks. So the Federal Reserve System will process checks. All right. And apart from that, the commercial banks, they deposit, okay, their reserves into your central bank. Okay, so commercial banks deposit reserves. Okay, and when we say reserves, we're talking about your required and access reserves, for example. Okay, so whenever a customer makes a deposit in the bank, you need 10% of that deposit as a required reserve. Okay, and this reserve would be stored in vaults, okay, bank vaults. Okay, and when it comes to your commercial banks, they also deposit reserves in the Federal Reserve Bank or the central bank. All right, and they may also bump the amount of currency in banks. So every year they may increase the amount of currency in banks. All right, so these are some of the roles and responsibilities when it comes to the Federal Reserve System. Okay, and that would be it for this video. On behalf of V Electronics, this is Obey. Have yourself a great day.